Today I want to take us back to the 18th century in England, right into the Georgian era. Now you are probably most familiar with the Georgian era thanks to this lady, who wrote lots of stories about good behavior for well-bred young ladies. You are not supposed to stick your nose into other people's business. You are not supposed to walk anywhere. You are not supposed to let rain touch you. But you definitely are supposed to make sure that your only profession is getting married, married, married. And always, women are women and men are men, and they know their place in this highly gendered atmosphere. So let's talk about a couple of people in this same society who didn't give a fig about their gender roles. This is Sarah Siddons. It's difficult to envision a time when the world wasn't obsessed with turning actors into celebrities. But celebrity culture was actually just emerging in the mid-18th century, and Sarah was the actor crush everyone had been dreaming of. She was known as tragedy personified. How dope is that? For all her incredible work as a tragic actress. She played Lady Macbeth. She played Desdemona. She played Ophelia. She played Hamlet. She wanted the challenge of playing a man's role, A, because men's roles in Shakespeare tend to be meatier and more celebrated, and B, Sarah wanted to maintain the illusion of maleness for an entire show. A few of you who are educated in theater history might be thinking, wait, do you mean Sarah Bernhardt? No! Sarah Bernhardt played Hamlet in 1899. She was not original. Sarah Siddons played Hamlet in Worcester in 1775. In Manchester in 1777, in Bristol in 1781, then in Liverpool that same year. She played Hamlet in Dublin in 1802 and revived that production in 1805. So, move over, Bernhardt fans. Sarah Siddons is the Lady Hamlet you want to be talking about. So part of England's newfound celebrity obsession was expressed in portraiture. And boy howdy did they paint Sarah Siddons. William Osborne Hamilton painted her in 1784. Thomas Gainsborough painted her in 1785. John Downman painted her in 1787. But this is who I want to draw your attention to. In 1796, Sarah was painted by Sir Thomas Lawrence. Sir Thomas Lawrence was born in 1769. He was a portraitist from literally the time he could hold a brush. He was a child protege. Lawrence's paintings are kind of fascinating. This is, mind you, 100 years before the French are inventing Impressionism. So his style was all his own, highly creative for his time. And unfortunately, while he was extremely popular at points of his career, he didn't leave behind any real followers. This flowy thing he was doing was a bit weird for England at the turn of the 19th century. So like a lot of child proteges, Thomas Lawrence had issues. He was always in debt and always in love. He never married, but had several affairs with women. And there was particular speculation about his love affairs with Sarah Siddons and her daughters. Oh yes, I should mention, Sarah Siddons was married at the age of 18, although her marriage ended somewhat untraditionally 30 years later when they separated. Sarah did have 7 children. How does that work with her being a famous actress? Sarah regularly performed pregnant. Being knocked up added a level of sympathy to her characters. Even as Lady Macbeth, it added a level of tension, as the lady and Mackers are often portrayed as a barren couple. We know Sarah and Thomas were friends, although there are some rumors that there may have been a sexual relationship. Really, where the gossip starts to fly is with her daughters, Sally Siddons and Maria Siddons. Apparently Thomas was a total jerk to these two. First, he was in love with Sally, and he did paint her. Then he dumped her for her sister Maria. Then he dumped Maria to go back to her sister Sally. Super awkward. Despite messing everything up with her daughters, Sarah always stayed friends with Thomas, causing some to suggest it was not the daughters, but the mother who Thomas was truly in pursuit of. While rumors about Thomas Lawrence's affairs with women seem to be never ending, he was apparently very charming. There was even a suggestion that he had an affair with Princess Caroline of Brunswick, who was the rejected wife of the Prince of Wales and one of Lawrence's subjects. His rivals were quick to point out that Sir Thomas Lawrence may have been attracted sexually to other men. He was called a man-milliner, which is a slang term which described a man who busies himself with pursuits associated with women. It was a contemptuous term that meant a man who was concerned with trifling embellishments, fashion. The term may suggest homosexuality. It may go so far to suggest Thomas Lawrence was a man who wished to be a woman. So in hindsight, this outrageous, scandalous, possibly sexy friendship between Thomas Lawrence and the woman who loved being a man on stage is charming and definitely not something Jane Austen would have ever written about.